right, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. We got it. Bruh, oh nah. We not about to do this. We're not about to do this. We are not about to do this. Pause due to hold up. Can y'all see? Can y'all hear? Hold up. All right. Can y'all hear? Can y'all see? Y'all good? Y'all good? Can y'all see? One more time. Y'all good? Y'all see? All right. All right. We finna we got two parts. We got two parts we're gonna do because this usually cuts off at like an hour. Hold up a second. This cuts off in like an hour, so we're gonna go within two parts. While we're waiting, um, we got nah. You good, coach. You good, Coach Steven. We gonna be on for a while, so we gonna be on for a while. So you can whenever if you're done, it's gonna be a while. I think it's gonna end at 9. So all right. It's gonna end at 9 o'clock. So we're gonna split this up into two sections of it. All right. Oh Lord, have mercy. Here we go.
Man, my bad, man. You know I be having practice, then I had to make some adjustments.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Boy, you ain't lying.
Man, what in the world? Well, you just came from flag practice or flaggies, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just coming back from flags and stuff and getting
Mm.
everything situated.
Y'all got a game this weekend, huh? Or is it net or it already
Man,
had it?
you know what?
What?
I seen it in the group, but then you know how my head be everywhere with other things.
Yeah.
And I just now realized we got a game on Sunday. Was that good, coach?
Was I good, Coach, this Sunday?
I hope you be good for Sunday. I hope I hope so, son.
Hey, all right, man. So like I said earlier, we gonna split this up because it cuts off in an hour. So we go from
Okay.
because I know we gonna be on here for probably a while. So we gonna
Mm-hmm.
split this up at 1 hour. We gonna end up going back on here. So I got hold up. I'm gonna ask. I think he's on here now. I'm gonna go ahead and get him on. We got somebody that want to join, but today we're gonna be talking about. Hold up a second. I want to see if he's on here. Where is he? Jesus Christ. Man, come on, bro. Here we go. All right. So we got a guy who's been over here in 2018. I'm not accepting you, Ahmad. He been over here since 2018. And his name is hold up. Ahmad, stop sending me a request, bro.
Amai, learn the playbook. Stop trying to send people requests.
We got a oh man. But no man, so today we definitely gonna talk about Hold up. Is he? There we go. There we go. All right, here you go. So here we go. Is he on here? Yes. I'm Ahmed. Ahmed. Why is this thing not accepting, bro? Hold up, man. Hold up. He's unable to join. Shit. Call it Nick. Whenever you ready, call back again. So today we're gonna be talking about first contract expectations because a lot of guys we was actually gonna piggyback off of this last week, but a lot of guys seem to forget. Um, oh, here we go. Here we go.
What's up?
All right. So so right now we're gonna be talking about the first contract expectations from I think imports, and then we're gonna later prolong this conversation about um how to recruit basically and like what teams are looking for and all this stuff. But first things first, I want to introduce Nick Ladd. Nick has been over here for a long time. He's well Franken Knights, former Franken Knights, currently at Coslada. Is it head coach and D line coach?
Nah, I'm the O-line coach at the Camioneros de Coslada in Madrid, Spain.
Yep, there we go in Madrid, Spain. And I want to get you on here because I want to hear you and Coach Chambers thoughts and opinions about these things because to be honest, I think a lot of guys come over here and get these misconceptions about contract expectations, and then they're not sure what they should do when it comes to recruiting. So Coach Chambers, if you could please tell me, I want you to start off. No, actually, first things first, I want you to tell me one thing. What exactly was it like when you first got your contract? And then we gonna go to Nick and ask him.
Whew. When I first got my contract, but I
As a
was
player, because I know
as
as
a
a player, because
player.
I know both y'all are and still are like are and
Yeah.
coaches and players. So what was it like for both of y'all?
So as a player,
Yeah.
I spent my first check in like 3 days, and they paid me good in Poland. Like they paid me great in Poland. I was with Gdynia, and
What in the top?
so
Oh.
they paid me good. But I blew my paycheck. Like I was in Sopot, I was in Party Town,
Mm-hmm.
so I blew my check the first 3 days. Uh, yeah, because I didn't understand the money ratio at that time. I didn't convert that stuff over. They was telling me what they was paying me as Zlotys, and I was like, shit, this sounds like a lot. Over there, and then my first contract as a coach, I was basically a player, and then it converted over to be the coach. So I mean, you have you gotta find. Honestly, I can tell most people like you ain't gonna find no big time contract out here. You ain't gonna find no 3,000, 4,000 euros contract out here. Like that's just not gonna happen out here. What you are gonna find, you're gonna find the fundamentals to work your way up to get your foot in the door to get somewhere else and stuff. So that is my experience as a player and as a coach.
Coach Nick, I want you to first I want you to introduce yourself, and then I want you to tell me exactly specifically. And you don't have to give numbers exactly how much you were paid, but I want you to tell everybody who you are, where you from, and where you first played in Europe, and what that experience was like.
Man, so I'm Nick Ladd from Alvarado, Texas, just south of Fort Worth, small town. Played D3 ball. There wasn't going to be anything after college. It was just going to be a teacher, etc. And I got the opportunity really in 2018 to get my first kind of trip out here. My first ride, I was in Franken Knights in Rotenburg, Obertown, Germany, the small town, beautiful, but like Gabriel saying, like, dude, you're not gonna make a ton of money out here. Like, there's no $5,000 a month, fees.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on the Cowboys to give me a call back, all that, um, but it's your expectation should be that you're here to help. You're here to help out with the team, whatever it is. I came in, I was an O lineman. I ended up being the O line coach. I was our run game coordinator. It was like, and I'm on the field every play, and it's it's like, oh shit, this is for real. So I think for me, realize when it comes to money, look at where you're going. If you're going to Poland versus Germany, the money is very different. If you're in Poland and you're getting 800 euros a month, you're doing okay. If you're in Germany and 800 euros a month, you're middle. You're somewhere in the middle. So look where you're going. Obviously, look where the hell you're going. Um, I think the biggest issue when you get guys out here, they think they're supposed to be like cock of the walk. Like they're supposed to be fucking LeBron James or some shit out here, and you're not. You're not. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, how much you get paid. You're never gonna be. You're not gonna get. I think the love you're hoping for. So if you come for the right reasons, come with the right mentality, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, and you made a good point there. Talking about guys coming out here with the expectations of thinking they're going to make a lot of money for one, and then to expect the love that they're going to get. That's not necessarily the case because Coach Chambers said it best. You got to work your way up, especially if you're not a big name guy and you come from like a small school. It's crazy that you say this because we've had this conversation so many times. Like for example, Gabe. Coach Chambers can't tell you how many times he told us like the 800, 850 euro offer is probably one of the best you're going to get from a team because if it's not a big team, you're not going to make all this money. Like, let's be honest. And most guys come over here to see. Coach Garcia said this a few weeks back. He see a lot of guys coming over here hearing about 3,000 euro offers from the ELF and stuff, and a lot of teams aren't going to pay that. Like they're going to pay you at least 650, 750. A less funded Eastern European team as we were just on, going to pay
Yeah.
you 200 to 300 euros, and a lot of guys don't understand or they didn't believe that teams out here really will pay you 300 euros to play, and that's a lot of the things like that teams will try to get. So if you and I just wanted to ask you guys, both of y'all, because y'all both are still players and coaches, but is this hard? I want to go back to Nick, Coach Ladd, right here. Is it hard for you to balance being a player and a coach? Because I know you just transitioned from player to coach. How hard was that transition?
Yeah, I'm kind of semi-retired a little bit as a player. As
Yeah.
as a coach, you have to be on the outlook. And it's the best. I think the best way to go is you become an O-line coach or a DB coach or something to start with. That way you can kind of get with your group and then you can move on. You see a lot of guys, they want the clout of being, well, I'm a head coach, I'm the OC or DC or whatever it is. And they're maybe not ready because then, it's like you're the OC and your entire O-line goes down. You know, you have no one that can block or you have no receiving core. I mean, me and you, Devion, we got done with that. We had no receiving core. So we had no quarterback. So it's kind of like old school football. So, you know, being prepared for that is the biggest thing in the world. Is how prepared are you for all the
Still there?
some big country dude or some slick city dude? You have no idea.
Right. So, Coach Chambers, how is it like? How is it for you to transition from that player to coach's role? Because I know because you probably going to have to do the player's role at some point in time. Because I don't know what the team is looking like this year.
Yeah.
Who knows? How is that transition from you to start to get ready for that only coaching position? Because I know you still have that itch to play. How is it for
Yeah.
you?
For me, it's basically, I got to make sure my guys know what they're doing before I get out there and basically do my part. But I will still do my part by calling the plays because if you're still playing and coaching at the same time, you I don't care who you is, as Nick said before, you cannot control a game by yourself. You're gonna need the help. And especially like being a head coach in the OC, you can't play full speed all the time because you got to always think about the next play and you got to see what defenses are in and stuff. You got to make the right adjustments. And yeah, it's kind of tough, but you got to find a balance in it. So whenever I go into a situation, I'm always going into it as a player. As you know, I make sure everybody's comfortable first, and then but most of the time I look at a situation, and I look at it as a coach because that's my number one role as a coach. So if the team needs me, then I'd step into the player role. But other than that, I will stay in my coach role and coach those guys until I know like they don't need me no more, because sometimes you get to a point to where you, like how you said, I got the itch. Yeah, you can have the itch, but what's better? You been out there on the field, or you coaching these boys to give them confidence to make those plays? So I think you got to find a balance of those two things.
Yeah, you said it best. You got to get those guys ready, and you got to give them the confidence because sometimes we see me and Nick has just seen it this past few months ago. I mean, either you got to give them the confidence because sometimes if you don't have a specific amount of guys, yeah, you're gonna have to get out there, but sometimes you're put in a situation where you're gonna have to make a decision where it's like, can I show them how to play, or do I just let them have their own, like, let them build the confidence and let the game go the way it wants to? Because we just left a situation in Romania to where it was like, you know, it was kind of different, and Nick had to make a decision to where he had to put the best guys in the best situation, even if they didn't like it. And
Exactly.
so I actually, because like you guys have the same philosophy. Y'all are really hard on details, and you want to do the little things right. Y'all coaching styles are similar because you don't get mad unless somebody does some shit that's gonna do it over again, and y'all get like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to ask y'all because I mean I'm starting to get to where I want to learn more about coaching and what the expectations are, but sometimes a lot of guys seem to forget that even though people may know each other, there are still the right and the wrong way to do things, especially when you're playing for somebody what exactly I'm gonna go I'm gonna ask this for both y'all, but I want Nick to answer this question first. Like what when did you have to realize that it's either you have to bring the right, like what was it stressful just thinking about recruiting the right guys to bring into the program? Because it's not easy. Even though a lot of guys say they have these connections and stuff like that, is it really that easy to bring guys in to help build your program?
You know, you have to always look at, is the guy a program builder or is he a mercenary? Is this a guy that I need 3, 4 games from for him to just go out here and play as well as he can, and maybe he fits our system, maybe not, or is this somebody I want here to be all year, and he's gonna work with the kids, he's gonna work with the flag and all that shit. So I mean, I think that's the biggest thing in the world. I have guys that I've helped got recruit on the teams. They're straight mercenaries. They're really, really good players. They're not here to coach. They're not here to work with anybody. They're here to play, score touchdowns, make tackles, and that's that. And then there are guys I've gotten signed that they're the absolute opposite. They're here to freaking try to coach. They're here to work with everybody on this like style of play, this that or whatever. If I'm gonna run an air raid, there's no reason to go get a big time offensive guard, right? If I'm gonna be a wing T, why would I even bother with the pocket passing quarterback? So I think when you're recruiting from personality for play style, there's that. Personality is the guy ready to do the work? Is he ready to go to the youth practice and the flag team and can he coach the O line and the running backs and the receiving core and the quarterback and this and this and this and this? And is he are they willing to do everything that goes with it? As an import player, you're going to be asked to coach. It's just how it's going to be. I got asked my very first year within 1 week. Hey, we need you to do this. So I think if you're ready for everything that comes with it, you're ready to be a coach and a player and to help build a program in the right way, you're going to get signed a lot of places. I mean, you're going to get re-signed by teams. You see there's certain guys that get signed 6 times in a row. Well, obviously they're doing something right. So to me, that's a big deal. You'll see the guys that are mercenaries, and there's nothing wrong with those guys, and the guys that are program builders. So I think if you're willing to figure out which one you need, then you can make the right decision.
Coach Chambers, what are your thoughts about that? How is it easy for you to get guys? How what is it like for you?
No, I think Nick said it best, man. You gotta find those the right guys, and you gotta know exactly what you want for your program. That's the biggest thing. Like how you said, if you just want to win some games, a couple of games, and try to bring some fans into it so they can have a excitement atmosphere, then bring someone who's going to score you those touchdowns and stuff like that. As you know, we was in that position a couple of times. So and especially when you know someone, it makes it more harder to do the business side then, because always got to tell them like, hey, this is my job. Even though I know you, this is my job, and I still have to get the job done. There and then it's sometimes some guys will try to take advantage of that, and then some guys will be like, okay, let's listen to them, let's get on the same program. But I think when you in that position, you just have to try to find out what you really want for your program, or what direction you want to take your program. Because as he said, you have guys that will come over here and just want to play football, no coaches, and then you have guys who want to actually go in and actually do it. And most people got to understand that. Um, and it's not, and it's to say this correctly. Every player is not a good coach, and every coach wasn't a good player. So at the end of the day, you really have to find out what your program really needs.
Coach Baker said it best. 90% want a coach, but they treat and pay them like mercenaries. Very rarely are you going to find a team that we we put on the line to keep you around, and that's true.
Yeah,
That that's tough. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow, honestly. But
that is.
the harsh reality is, most teams do want to find a easy way out, and like, because Gabe, you told me this a long time ago. They got some teams want to piggyback off of everything you build and take credit of it from themselves, and so oh man, like, what do you like? I can't, oh no, I can't stand that, honestly. Especially you putting in all the work
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're just doing all that. Like Nick, I know I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not name dropping or nothing, but you did a shit ton of work this past season. Like,
You
you
know,
did
in that moment, I wasn't expecting to get that position. I was expecting to just play and do my thing. And then,
mm-hmm.
as things went on and went on, I got asked more and more to do things like that. And eventually I was just like, all right, there's no reason to be on the field. It's better for me to be off and be working, because that's going to give us
exactly.
the best position. Yeah, we don't name drop. I try not to. I try not to do that. That's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
bullshit. Uh, I think though, you have to be really ready to do anything as an import. And some programs are really good programs. I was lucky. My very first group, Franken, man, that's a good program. They know
yeah.
how to do things, how to take care of your guys, how to take care of you. I was lucky enough for 3 years with them. 18, 19, 20. I was really, really fortunate to get to start that way. And then, when I moved to Spain, I did 2 years in Murcia, and that really opened my eyes to really how do I need to work with my group of guys, and I can be really dominant with my group. Then with Coslada, coming here has been awesome. This has been a really good group. They know how to deal with things. They want to do things right. And they use me, man. They're like, hey, you can coach, you're gonna coach. Cool. All right, go do your
Facts.
thing. No, and like, Coach Chambers was saying, I think the first game this year, we had a guy, his dad passed away. He was an American, had to go home. Opened up a spot for me to play. I played. I was completely ready. Let's just go. I'll do my one game and get out of the way again. And that takes a little bit of, for me, age and experience. I'm not young anymore. I'm willing to take a step out. I'm not who I was in 2021. I'm not who I was in
Facts.
2014. I really wish I was, but I'm not. So I was willing to take a step out and help the younger guys, help them develop, help get them going. So I mean, last week we played with an entirely native O line. I had no, and I was very happy with that, very proud of that. So like you were saying in Romania, there was a lot of work to do. We built everything, and it wasn't. It was based on what we could do, not what we wanted to do. Because I mean, Devion, you did not fit in that offense at all. It wasn't for you. But you did your
You had
best.
to make it work.
Did your best with it. It was,
Yeah,
it was what it was. So I mean,
yeah.
you're happy guys that are like that though, when they know, hey, this isn't all for me, and you're not sitting there, pouting and hanging your head, fuck you, Nick. You don't know what you're like. You were in there ready to work. So I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, man, like, because Gabe had a similar situation too in 20, I think it was 2021, was when y'all played after COVID year, was it? When
Yeah.
you, because you had to rebuild straight, and everybody had imports. Because I guess, from what I was told, in
Oh yeah.
Germany there was supposed to be imports, but somehow they ended up getting imports, and you were the only team that didn't have them. But you see
Yeah.
what we did the year after that, because
Mhm.
you had to put the work in to work with the guys and work with what you had. It wasn't all bad because y'all were still playing in games with these teams. But tell me exactly what was that like, and compare it to like the year after.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Wait. That was your first year at Landsberg, like official season at Landsberg was
yeah, the
2021,
official.
right?
I signed in
Yeah.
2020 at the end. After the Beavers, I signed with the Beavers. And then after we found out we weren't gonna play in 2020, I signed with Lansbury in 2020 October. Uh,
So how was that first experience going from there, that kind of a season, to what we had in 2022?
oh man, that was I started 2021. That was a season where we said no, like it was a gentleman's agreement, no imports. And then next thing you know, everybody got 2 or 3 imports, and of course the guys that was already living here counted as an A and stuff. But to go through that season with no imports, it was tough. But then I think it was also like everybody's getting together. It was my first year coming there. They still had their old head coach, and I was coming with a new system. And in COVID, you had all these rules, and we couldn't do this. So I think that was just like the stepping stone, right? And then when we turned around in 2022, we added the imports. Now you can actually see what these guys can really play like with the right imports. You exactly see which guys you can really depend on, which import you need to put on the opposite side of the field to give this guy more confidence. But that year, actually, 2022 gave me and other people more like a relief because that 2021 season, I think we went 2-4. We was 2-4, but we was in every single game, but we just went 2-4. We just didn't have that many guys anymore. Like the depth killed us. I think we played
Mm.
Ingolstadt that year. We was playing with at the end of the game. We played with 19, 20 something guys. But that killed us. But then to come back and say what happened in 2022, and then on top of that, 2023, we won it. So it's a process. You go through those hard times, and if you're gonna stay down and cry about it, then you will never find your way getting out. But if you're gonna stay down, put in the work, continue putting in the work every time you go to practice and stuff, good things will come.
And it's funny you said it, because the process that I had to go through, I think, to get my career started in 2018 with the Rebels in
Hmm.
Poland, that was an interesting thing too, because I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know what to expect, and like the money was just, I was getting paid 100 fucking euros, I didn't even know it. Like I didn't learn nothing about that and stuff like that, and they were rebuilding too, because they just came from a second division, the PLFA or something like that.
Yeah,
So I
PLFA.
came back and I'm like, what the hell? So I didn't have that much. I didn't know how to expect, like what to expect from teams like this, because when you rebuild and you step into these situations as a import player or a coach, you kind of don't have enough certainty when teams aren't really clear with you. And we talked about this last week too. If you don't have much clarity on what the situation is moving forward, then it's kind of difficult, like how to maneuver and stuff like that and adjust. So what exactly so we talk about the imports and stuff like that, but the coaches, like, it's really important to have the right coaches on your staff. Nick, could you tell me exactly it's like, are you very hard on having position coaches on your team, even if you don't really agree with everything that the coach has when it comes to philosophy or whatnot?
So I think, let's say I'm the offensive coordinator, it has to be my philosophy. Now you need to
Yeah.
listen to everybody else because maybe I have you on there, I have Coach Chambers somebody on there, and you guys have a different idea. I need to figure out how I can implement that into what I'm doing, what my overall philosophy is. As a coach, you need to be able to coach your assistant coaches. That's your
Exactly.
job. If I have a running back, I need to know how to do drills. I need to know how to do the damn drill. If I have a guy that's brand new, he's trying to coach O line, which is maybe the hardest position to coach. I need to get that guy up to speed. If I don't, that's my fault. That's completely my fault as a coach. A lot of coaches, they don't want to take, and this is anywhere in the world, they don't want to take credit or for messing up. Oh no, my offense is great. It's this and this. It's a system. Okay, dude. You're not Lincoln Riley. You're not, one of these star coaches that are really, brilliant. none of us really. Unfortunately, I wish I was. I'd be making a lot more money, you know, doing all that. But it is what it is. I want position coaches, and they have to be a native. I'd rather them be native guys because then everyone has a little more trust, and they can kind of contact those guys a little more. You know, I'm coming from a whole different culture, like Spain, for example. Very different. I don't speak great Spanish. You know, it's a very different culture than what I was raised in Texas. So I have to get the guys here that know what they're doing. You know, that's why when I was brought in here as O line, D line, it was like it's kind of everybody else is Spanish on the staff. I'm the only American. They trusted me enough to bring me in and know that I understand kind of what they're looking for, even if I don't agree with the systems all the time. And I like the systems, but let's say if I don't agree, I'll bring it up and I'll ask questions. And I think that's what you should do as an assistant coach. And as an OC, you know, I was the head coach in freaking Romania. You know, it's like if I had an assistant guy, yeah, I'm telling you how to do something, go do it. I got to work with this group. You got to work with that group. Go. You know, you have to trust your assistants. If you don't, then why'd you hire them?
Because Coach Chambers, I know you. I've heard stories all the time about the things that went on in practices before the 2022 season with coaches, and like I said, I don't look. I'm not name dropping or nothing, but yeah, I know when you bump heads with coaches that you can't get on the same page with, how exactly is that to like you just need coaches. You just need somebody there to actually teach the guys the right thing. Is that more of a tough decision? Was that more of a tough decision for you than it was to just rather not have him there at all?
That was a very tough one, because if I would have let him go, you gotta understand, I was just now coming into a position, and he was the head coach before I got there. And so, of course, he had his buddies and stuff on the team. So if I would have fired him completely without knowing these players, you never know where these players would have went. If he would have went somewhere else, he probably would have got those players. So my best thing was to keep him on staff because he knows who can play what, and I'm just coming in. Okay, I can still have that label as head coach. He can have keep him there as OC and stuff like assistant coach or stuff. For me, it was just about, hey, as Coach Nick just said, this is my philosophy. This is how we're going to do it. Let's do it like this. Now, when I have to go to help my DBs out, when my coach wasn't there, I had to go. Now, if this coach is running his old playbook system, and I'm walking back down here and I'm seeing that he's running his old playbook system, of course we're going to bump heads because that's just like, hey, the guys start getting confused and they start saying, oh, this play, this is that play. But it was very, very hard to not escalate that all the time. I had to drop the ego, say, okay, this is what we're going to do it like this. Okay, coach, you got to get on board because at the end of the day, I'm not in charge of, like, just because you're the head coach, all right, doesn't mean that you're always going to have to tell this coach. As Coach Nick said, you're going to have to trust your coaches that you got. All right. The only thing that I had at that time was I would go somewhere else. He would go back to his playbook. And it's like, hey, this is the offense. This is my offense. And this is what we're running because this is what we're going to be running in the game. We're not going to be running your playbook. And it was tough. And as you see, it was like a different result. So you see the coaching staff now. And but yeah, it was very, very hard.
Because now that we're talking about different, like two different philosophies on the team, we saw something similar to this past season in Romania, where coach asked for one thing and players do a different thing,
Mhm.
whether it's imports or domestic guys, mainly import. But it's but I want you to tell me exactly. Is it really? Was it really hard for? And I want both of y'all to answer because I know both of y'all have experiences, especially you, Gabe. But have both of y'all ever experienced somebody going against what you ask, and how easy or was it hard for you to control your emotions at that moment? Because I know both of y'all can snap as fast as shit, and I don't like. This is why I don't like stepping on toes like that. Because when you got guys who've been around here and you know what they want and who are actually coaches, it's very very easy to make a bad or wrong impression to where they can do collateral damage to not only your career but your season as well. So what exactly how was that feeling trying to control everything in the mid game, try to keep your composure and whatnot? Yeah, Coach Nick.
So I'll answer this, and I gotta go. But
Yeah, you good?
my second year ever, I was, I was the O line coach, and we had to import offensive linemen, another American, who we had different ideas on how to do things, and we got to a big play. We had two really good running backs, German kids who were really tough. And it was like, hey, we need to do this play this way. And he's like, nah, fuck you, I don't want to do that shit. That's what we did in my college, and I was an NAIA. I'm like, bro, great, good for you. Like, whoop de doo. I'm running stuff that everyone in the world runs. But he was just not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Wasn't gonna do what I was gonna do. Luckily, I was able to go over there. The running back, I told him, hey, just you're a smart guy. Look at where do you think it should go? Blah blah blah. So I was lucky in that moment. I had guys that backed me up that were native players, and we were able to get it done. It could have gone the other way really badly. It could have been real bad. And keeping my emotions under check was like that's tough. I'm not exactly the nicest person in the world on the field. Um, it was like, dude, we're trying to win the game. I don't care about stats. I don't care about anything. I want more points than the other team. If we have 3 and they have 2, I'm happy. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. So I think just that was my second year. Luckily, I had enough backup, and we were able to get through it. But it was like, it was tough. And then we're even talking about this following year. It was like there were times where I'd call one play, and I look out there and it's completely something different. Or we talk about an idea. We tell the quarterback, hey, dude, we all goes. You don't have a great arm. You don't. It's gonna be one high, so it's 6 in the box. Look, you can run and you can take off and you can beat somebody. Take off as soon as it goes 4 verts, 3 steps and take off. It's a quarterback draw. He'd throw it anyways because it was ego. It was an ego thing, and I was like, dude, like, look, if I have Mahomes or somebody like I don't know anybody in the NFL back there, yeah, throw it. But like, it's like having me back there at quarterback, dude. Come on,
Yeah.
so you know, I'm just like, do what you do best, and I'll put you in the situation and do what you do best. But trust me,
Okay.
and I think everybody understands from a coaching standpoint. If I have Lamar Jackson, we're not having him sit in the pocket all damn day. I want him to
Right.
run. He
Yeah.
does. If I have
Exactly.
Brady, we're not an option. Throw the damn ball, Tom.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at it from a perspective, from a coaching perspective, I want to get my best players to know what they do best in that situation. I need to do that.
Mm.
So that's my thing. Now, if the player doesn't want to do it, there's nothing to do. What am I going to take? Take 3 timeouts and they run the play they want anyways? At the end of the day, you have to have trust with the guys on the field. If you don't trust those guys, it doesn't matter. So I think that's a huge thing. All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
I'll
Good
let you
job,
guys.
man. Good to have
Yeah,
you.
it was good having you, man. Hey, be safe and best of luck to the
Hey,
season.
good luck for you guys in Landsberg.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. All right, Gabe. Since you, since because I've been waiting for this now because now it's about to be 7:45. We gonna keep it funky. We about to keep it real because we done see some shit out here, and we about to get real. So, with that being said, how are you feeling? And I want to hear your honest opinion about this. That we ain't name dropping, but what were you thinking? And how hard is it for you to control emotions? I know you're loud as hell on the sideline. You scream a lot. You try to make sure everybody's doing the right thing. How hard or easy is it for you to control your emotions? I know it ain't easy for you to control your emotions, so I'm gonna go ahead and call bullshit if you go say it's easy. So what
No,
is it like in that moment?
it's very difficult for me. I play with emotion on my sleeve. I'm a human. But at the end of the day, like if I tell guys if I'm the coach and I have more energy than you have, it's a problem. It's a big problem. If I am trying to like once we score a touchdown, I'm trying to tell everybody to go celebrate with everybody. Like we just scored a touchdown. You do your
Yep.
job. You do your job. The guy caught a touchdown. We scored. Not just that person. The whole team scored.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to get guys all on one accord. Because that's the biggest thing. If you don't got guys on the same page, egos can play involved. and that's where, yeah, it's tough. I mean, for me, sometimes I try to get, like I said, I get guys to buy into the system. And if some guys may think, I had imports and I had normal players who was like, "Hey, coach, your ego, your emotionals is just too much. You don't know how to control it." Okay, well, look at this. I know how this is going to work. Every game that I told you guys, I was like, "Hey, this is what's going to happen." Most of the times, it happened. So, me as a being in that head coaching role, I have a bigger, higher risk than you guys have. Because it can be like,
You on the hot
why the
seat.
guys exactly. So most imports they may not understand it at that time, but then at the same time, like I'm talking about, you're gonna learn to follow the suit and be like, okay, let me just be quiet, do what I'm supposed to do, and then everything gonna play out. Now, I would never try to belittle someone. Of course, I did that before. But as guys know, I am changing. I'm human as well, But it is tough controlling your emotions, especially if it's a tight situation game or it's one of those practice. You know how I practice being in Lansbury, be tense and stuff like that. So it's tough controlling my emotions.
I don't like the ego thing when it comes to guys seeing their teammates not doing the right thing. Now, I can understand somebody getting emotional
Yeah,
when you after you told them 3 times, but after
yeah,
the second time, you ain't gonna give another chance. But most of the guys give 3 chances, 4 chances, 5 chances. After the fourth or fifth chance,
yeah, definitely.
it has to go somewhere because I mean, either you gotta learn it or it's the next man up. Most of the time, when you play overseas, is not the best thing to do is not to put the next best man up because either
Whew.
one or two things. He either hasn't been to practice, don't know what's going on, or he's just not ready to play. So the emotions as an import coach and a player are very it ain't easy to control, especially when you in games out here that are like very like competitive like that. And it is not
Exactly.
easy, especially my first year, not knowing how to how to work with domestic guys and
Hmm.
just thinking it's pro when it's not. Like it's hard, and people forget. Yeah, we're human, but you got to do this shit right, or you going you gonna hit the road, like bro.
Exactly. Like you got to understand, like as Coach Nick was saying earlier, your number one job is to come over here and coach and like play, but to help the guys around you get better. I said this episodes before. Imports come over here and they think like they think, oh, I'm the S. Like I should be in this, I should be
We
getting
go
that.
hold on, whoa, 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 whoa. We gonna see. That's gonna be for in
Okay,
a few.
okay,
That's what we gonna
okay,
get to. So just wait for
okay.
that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like they gotta be able to like control, like being like take that little zone off and just like I say, when I have all my imports over here, right? I can only speak for myself. I try to get everybody on the same page. Hey, this is the goal. This is what we going. This is what we working for. The first 2 weeks, get everybody on the same rhythm. After that, I
Hmm.
don't care what you do because I know we're gonna have. I'm gonna install that rhythm, that routine. I know I ain't got to worry about you, but the other people that I may have to worry about, they may not be used to a hard coach. They may not be used to a coach like me, and that's why I'm gonna be hard on you guys, but I'm also going to love you at the same time. And that's one thing I think a lot of players need, especially nowadays in this generation, because I was seeing a episode on Coach what's his name, JB.
Oh man. Oh my
Man,
God.
you know what, man? Everybody talks so much trash about Coach JB, but
Hmm.
that's a good coach. You look
He
at
is a
his
really good coach.
winning, you look at his stats, he's winning. And he makes people a better man. Like this generation day, will he be a great coach? I don't know. He probably be fired within the first week or so.
The first day. The first day. That is true. And the thing with Coach JB is I wish we had more coaches like because he keeps it real. And Coach Baker said your team can get better if they don't win. More managers don't care because they don't have the knowledge enough to see it. They just see
Man,
it as money transactions at that point. He didn't want it. Yeah, I mean that is true. they teams do why pay him or keep him around. That is true. Why teams do see stuff like that as money transactions and stuff like that. Like I wish we did have more coaches like JB because he keeps it. He that is the most realistic it can get without
Really.
even giving error. Like, and the thing is, man, he Coach JB did make a good point. I was listening to something before I got on here of his where he was like, the decision making for coaches is absolutely horrible, and this is on the next live that we're gonna get on here in about 15 minutes. We're gonna talk about that because it's sick. It's sick how coaches are being decided, just based off of uh, just who they know is, and nobody's looking at resumes and whatnot. No more. They don't care about what you did. They don't care about who you helped develop. They don't care about none of that. They don't care about how you elevated the team. And so JB said it best. It's like it is horrendous what's going on now in the sports world. And the hiring process is just terrible. And so I think a lot of organizations have to start taking note about how they should move forward, go signing players. And that's not an overseas, just basically off of college, especially because college recruiting process is absurd. And the import signing process is absolutely getting absurd now because now you seeing guys being recycled. Because of what reason? Because the trust of organizations and some new guys, either you're taking
Exactly.
advantage of them or they don't know them and they want to give them a chance. So it's a risky ball game over here, but the signing processes everywhere are just horrendous now.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You know the craziest thing, like JB from Garnersville.
Mm,
JB, like I ran into
Lord.
JB when Garnersville. It was like in 2009, no 2007, 2008. That's when I was playing. Yeah, I was in high school at that time. No, I was in middle school. One of those times we met him, and JB was real. Garnersville was running. That's when Andrew Phillips was the running back in Boaz. They had
Mm.
Andrew Phillips, but it was all those damn, I forgot that county. Is it Marshall County? No, it ain't Marshall County. Um, Garnersville, Boaz, Albertville, all that all eight.
Arab,
Yeah, A-Rap,
Arab,
all
and
that
all,
right
yeah,
there. They
Coleman,
had
all of them.
they had that stack. I seen JB coach like general and just telling people how you said earlier. Nobody's gonna keep that like real with you no more. And now imports come over here and they be like, "Oh, I'm the shit." Oh, sorry for cuss, but they be like, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that." But no, you gotta. And then if you tell a coach, like if a coach tell you, like you could have did this better, you could have did that better, they be like, "Damn, I just made the play." But then you turn the film on, and now you realize the coach is right. Like you could have took a better angle to get there quicker. I had to break that down to some of my players this year and the year last year. And it's not so much as a coach trying to be so hard on a player, but it's just trying to help the player understand where you're coming from. And I think that sometimes can be a tough decision as well.
I don't think it's a tough decision because most of the time, if they don't believe that they're wrong, I mean, they don't believe that they're wrong, then most of the time it's going to either become a disaster or a fight because import, like we was talking about earlier, like what we was about to talk about earlier, imports get over here, and it's not funny to the other domestic guys about you arguing with the head coach, especially if
Oh
this
yeah.
head coach has been here for like a long time. Like it's not cute, it's not funny. You
Mm-mm.
have an ego problem, and it's the best thing to do is just stop talking. Like, yeah, in the heat of the moment, either you don't want to hear it because, like you said, there has been times where I have done that where I was like, hey, I just made the play. Like, what are you talking about? Or other guys have done that. It's not you're not really understanding like you can't see yourself run because you're not on the sideline. You're not looking. You're not a coach. You're
Mm-hmm.
playing and you're actually looking at making sure you know your assignments and everything's going on. So it's not easy to actually see yourself and what you do or what you could have done right. And a lot of guys, I believe, a lot of imports come and they believe that they're majority right just because they're coming from an all conference university or they're coming off of an All American season, and that's not necessarily the truth. Like, yeah, your ego can play a huge role with your resume coming to Europe. I mean, you could come from the ELF to play in like GFL 1 or GFL 3, but that doesn't mean you're always going to be right. And a lot of imports have to believe that your ego has to be put aside in order to start, start helping guys be put in the right spot and listen before you actually speak.
Exactly. Exactly. I think a lot of players, imports, including myself, when you come over, you're the best. Sometimes you may be the best player on your team and stuff. And I say, I hope you are the best player on your team. You should be, or you should be, competing with someone else. You know what? What made our team so special for 2023, and I can say this for an import standpoint. We was never like, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. We was always competing. We was always trying to get better as a whole, or y'all was trying to get better as a whole unit, right? And then we went from us and we took it to the domestic guys, and it spread it just like cancer. What happened then? Of course, you're going to have some breakouts that don't happen, but from that breakout, back to back to back to back to back to back wins. I mean, we played 7 games, back to back wins. Those 7 games was a long stretch for us. But sometimes you got to have those imports that understand what a coach is saying and can be like, okay, coach, I got you. Now let me go get this guy right. But sometimes you're going to, as you said, it's hard to have that moment with an import in front of everybody. But then whenever you have an import, like, you gotta don't always take it as a personal thing. Of course, like where we come from in the States, if a coach yell at you, sometimes you want to talk to him back and stuff. Now over here in Europe, you don't have that many Americans. So if you see another American and he'd be like, oh yeah, like you let him punk you out and stuff like that. And then you're gonna sound like a punk, or you're gonna sound like a B, and then the ego gets involved instead of just saying yes sir, or saying okay, I got you, coach, I'm gonna go ahead and do what you asked me to do. So I think that's a big thing. Ego plays a big role of everything.
Yeah, the ego for sure does. But like you said, going back to that 2023 season about like us like not saying we're like better than you. It's important to believe that because I
Yeah,
said last week, if you don't believe that you are, you're not, and your confidence isn't high, then you're not going to have a good season. You're not going to have good reps. You're not going to be good at anything you do because if you don't have confidence, it's definitely going to play a toll on your performance and stuff like that.
definitely,
So
definitely.
you can't. It's yeah, you're gonna look bad and yeah, you're gonna look weak, but I mean, the, it's at the end of the day, guys got to realize ego isn't always everything, especially if you ain't getting your money. If you doing some stupid shit, you ain't gonna get paid, and everybody want to get paid. So like this, yeah, talk back to the coach if you want to. Smart for you, but stupid because he's the guy that gives you your money. Like he's the one who basically he can send you home too, just like the domestic guys. If you have a problem with the import, you go to the president. Like guys don't understand. Like, dude, it is so easy for you to go home. Just like the head coach, it's easy for the head coach to go home. The head coach can send you home a lot more faster because they don't need an import. Imports are definitely replaceable. Head coach are but are not easily replaceable. That's why it's easier for an import to get sent home and get the boot. Like it's dudes don't be thinking when they talk back, and I had to sit here and I had to realize like, okay, I gotta remember who I'm talking to most of these times. Like in GFL 1, you can talk back to him if you want to.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
what happened. I saw what happened to dudes that did. I saw exactly what happened to the guys.
yeah.
I got stories for days about like shit I seen out there, and it's like this is what really made me come to the perspective that man, that ego shit ain't no room in this thing for no ego shit. Like it's
Not at all,
crazy.
not at all. And you gotta understand, like most of these coaches over here, or most European players or coaches, most of the coaches over here, they played, so they don't want
Mm-hmm.
another person coming in and be like, "Oh, y'all should do this." When he's like, "Okay, yeah, I played this. I know this is how we play it here in Germany. This is how I always did it in practice. So we're gonna do it like this." Now, if you have
Yeah.
a guy who's like an all conference or whatever, or first team or whatever, offense player, defense player of the year or stuff like that, he comes here and he's like bumping head with that coach. It's easy, as you said, it's easier for that coach to be like, "Hey, listen, this is how we're gonna do it here." And
Yeah.
sometimes it's the pride of the domestic coach of like trying new things because they're always used to that, and sometimes it's the pride. So it goes, it's like a balance, it's the pride of both sides. So you say, hey, let's drop this, let's try to find a middle point to what's best for the team. The guys that who know how to do this, let's get them and let them be the leaders and spread it like cancer. But sometimes it's hard though. Sometimes it's hard because, as you said earlier, you asked a question about bumping heads. You just gotta have trust in your players. That's the biggest thing. You got to trust your players.
Yeah, and sometimes trusting your players doesn't necessarily mean like giving the keys to the team, the offense, and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Because you can have trust from them, but you can't let them have that authority for that much long, because then they're gonna feel like they can do what they
Oh yeah.
want,
Hmm.
say what they want, tell players this and that. And Coach Baker said it depends on how good the import is. If he's good, the coach, the coach is if he's that good, the coach is going home, which we haven't seen that. Well, actually, I ain't
What
gonna
did he
lie. I
say? I
see
can't even see it. Once again, I can't even see it.
Coach Baker said it depends how good the import is. If he that good, the coach is going home.
Okay. No, no. It has been some situations, where it's been imports be better than the coaches. And there's been some situations where coaches are better than the imports. I'm just saying that as a philosophy way, right? Because your job as an import is to come in and to coach. I mean, is to play first, play second, coach. That coach, his number one thing is coach. So he got everything right here. He got all the keys. So if you're gonna get on the bad side of this coach, and you know how he is, of course, that's when you got to bite your tongue and just do your thing. Because, as you said earlier, this coach pays you. This coach can set up a good game plan to put you in the game plan,
Or
even
he
though
can
you're there. Or he can
he
put
can
you
take
out the
you
game
out.
plan and start making you look bad, and then that's where all the questions: why he ain't touching the ball? Oh, he ain't doing this. Because when you ain't touching the ball, some people may not want to do what they need to do to contribute to the team. But yeah, he right. Coach Baker right about that.
Because I seen some dirty, dirty stuff happen this past year with that whole coach putting them in the game, saying he gonna use you in the game plan, and then taking them right out. I seen it happen, and it's hilarious. It's happened in Straubing, and I'm telling you right now, man, this is some. It's a dirty business, but
It,
hey,
it is.
they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about your feelings, especially if you ain't doing the right thing. They don't give a
But
damn.
that's what I told y'all, right? I said I don't want to name drop, but I used to tell y'all, like, if y'all got a problem, talk to me personally, text me personally, because at the end of the day, when we out there, I care about y'all mentally, physically, and emotionally, but I can't care about y'all feelings when we there in that moment, because it's one job and we got to get that job done. I was watching the pivot and they had Nick Saban on there, and he said a great thing. He got that 24 hour. Like, if you go and celebrate it too much, it may lose it. Like, you may lose your mind later on in the next game. I was always just like that. I had that next one. Why everybody go out? It was plenty of times where I didn't even go out. I was already, even on the bus ride back. Let's say, for example, in 2022, sometimes bus rides, I was sitting up there at the front. I wasn't talking to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the way back from the championship game when we in 2023, I had 2 beers with y'all. That was it. I'm already processing what's next year. Because I think if you, and this is something that I learned, you got to enjoy the moment, be present in the moment. But like, I always been on, I got that 24-hour thing. I got that 24-hour rule. I got to get these guys ready, because if they don't get ready, if I don't get them ready, who else going to get them ready? My imports going to get them ready? Okay, yeah, let your imports get them ready. But then also, you got to get to a point in your life where you're going to be like, okay, I got good imports. Let your imports do like some of the work. Take the pressure off of you, because you can have a hard coach who just, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, put you here, put you there, put you. But if you got good imports, coaches, I'm telling y'all this right now. If you got good imports, let your imports help you out, and that's going to take less pressure off of you. And all you got to do is just come up with a good game plan and depend on your players, because you don't win the games. The players do.
That's right. So we're gonna end this one and go to the next slide because it's about to cut off. So
All right, Dan.
I'm
All right,
a
yeah.
I'm a hang tight.